And joining us now is Greg Meyer, a 7-time River Bank Run winner, and he will also be commentating for our broadcast of the River Bank Run, the 48th annual River Bank Run this Saturday. Greg, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, it's good to be with you.
And, I got to ask, as somebody who's both run it and commentated on it with us here at News 8, I mean, what do you kind of prefer? Do you prefer actually being there kind of doing the grueling runs, or would you kind of prefer be on the sidelines and watching some of these athletes really perform out there?
Well, everyone would like to be young and active again, but but it is sort of fun to watch these guys. Both the men and women go at it. I just enjoy good competition, and we always seem to get that at the Riverbank Run.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, you're a 7-time winner. During those times when you were crossing the finish line first, I mean, is there one that really sticks out to you, a race where maybe you overcame something or maybe you really dominated the competition that is just always going to stick with you about this race?
Oh, what's funny is it's the ones that you lost that haunt you and you remember more than the ones you win. But I think the one that probably sticks out in terms of just a tough run was 1983. I had just won Boston about 3 weeks before, and I hadn't really recovered. And it ended up being a warm, hot day. And a guy by the name of Greg Orman came in from Indiana, and he was pretty tough. And I didn't catch him till about the last mile or so. And it was a tough day. But I think in terms of races, there's so many of them that I have good memories of in the parties afterwards, actually. So no, I think 83 was kind of special.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And talking about the Riverbank Run, we've been bringing people's stories really leading up to the race of runners that will be running this year and kind of just seeing what this race really means to them. For you personally, as somebody who's been so involved with the race over the years, I mean, what makes this race kind of stand out from other races maybe you've done, other races you've seen, other races that you've talked to other runners about?
Well, I think first and foremost for me personally, it was the first major event in my hometown that I got to compete in, and that made it extra special for me always. And I think now when I look at the race, what is still special about it is we get to showcase our community to the rest of the nation and at times the world. I think the reason why so many people want to come to this race is how well organized it is. The elite athletes specifically love the fact that they're treated well here. It's friendly, it's relaxing. There's not this high tense pressure. They come in and they're treated like family, and oftentimes they want to keep coming back because they feel so comfortable here. And I think that's true for all the runners. They just know that it's going to be well run. There's going to be the water out there, and it's going to be a great event.
Mm-hmm. And for, so many people come back year after year for this race, like you said, but this is also a time for people that are just beginning their running journey. This could be their first race. I mean, for people that are going in kind of blind, maybe this is their first Riverbank Run. Well, any tips that maybe you would give them about how to tackle the course, or, with just a few days, few hours really, I guess, before, the starting gun goes off? I mean, any tips, any final recommendations you'd give somebody running for the first time?
If this is the first time they're running the 25K, I just tell them to be confident in their training and stick to their plan. Don't try to do something you didn't train for. And that usually means being very cautious for the first half. Don't get excited until you cross the bridge at Johnson Park. And if you're still feeling good at that point, then you can take some chances. But just follow your plan. And be confident that you did the training. For those that are just getting ready to run maybe their first 5K or 10K, it's sort of the same thing. Be excited that you made it to the starting line. That's a big goal in and of itself, just getting to the starting line, so that you accomplished the training to get there, and then just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy yourself. You've earned it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a day of fun to be had for sure. Greg, though, I got to ask, as somebody who's always kind of wanting to know a little bit more about the business of broadcasting, you know, as a broadcaster, as a commentator for a race like this, I mean, what is sort of your preparation for it? You know, it's not necessarily something like a basketball game or a football game you're commenting on. You got to be able to talk through an entire race, the entire hour and a half about for the winners to finally cross. I mean, what is sort of that preparation like for you?
Well, for me, what I tend to do is look at the statistics. I try to see who the top people are, what their best time, what their talent level is. Try to narrow it down into who I think is going to be in that lead pack, um, and then just be aware of the splits during the actual race, and just um, because that will tell me sort of how the race is going to develop, who might still be there with 3 miles to go or whatever, because uh, the cream rises to the top. So those athletes that are in good shape, um, will tend to drive it in the second half. The other thing that I look at going in is what's their recent running history? What have they done in the last 3 to 6 months? Because even though they may have a great resume, if they haven't done anything for the last 6 months or 9 months,
Mm-hmm.
you sort of wonder, are they fit? Are they ready to go? Is this their first race to try to get themselves going again? So you try to weigh all those little factors in. And you got to do that now for both the men and the women, obviously, because a big part of the broadcast is the race within the race, where the men are trying to catch the women. And that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know, and we're expecting some better weather this time around compared to last year. It's supposed to be a little bit warmer. I know last year I was down there. It was kind of cold, especially at the start of the race. You know, you could see athletes kind of crossing that finish line, looking for those blankets immediately. With better weather around, I mean, it should be a much more enjoyable time, not just for the runners, but for everybody that's out there who comes out to downtown Grand Rapids this Saturday.
It looks like the perfect weekend for it.
Right.
It's going to be cool at the start, which means that at least for the first half of the group that's finishing, they should still have cool temperatures. It's going to be sunny, so the spectators will come out and enjoy the day. It may get a little warm towards the end for the people towards the back of the pack, but not hot. Low 70s. Um, it looks like a really good day. Uh, I'm not sure what the wind is supposed to be doing, but right now it doesn't look like it's going to be doing much.
Mhm.
Should be a great day to run.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I gotta ask, as somebody who will be commentating, watching the race thoroughly, we've seen over the past couple of years these athletes really push themselves, really push the times and break records here at the Riverbank Run. Do you think we kind of see that trend continuing, especially with the nicer weather planned for us on Saturday?
I think there's a real possibility, just based on the talent. I think right now, which is different than the last few years, I think there's more talent on the men's side this year than on the women's. No disrespect to them, but there's some guys coming in this year that um, one of them, oh, Charlie Hicks, just broke the American record for 10 mile, which made me kind of jealous because I used to have that record. Um, but now he's running extremely fast, and there was a few guys right behind him in that race that are in the race as well. So they all know they're going to have to run fast if they want to win. And there's always an incentive to set a new American record, not just on the bonus that the race has, but all of these guys have shoe contracts, and they get bonuses for not only winning the U.S. championship, setting American records, all of those things. So it can end up being a pretty lucrative day if the stars align and they do get that record.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when you get that much talent, everybody hedges their bets for the first half because nobody wants to do the work to sort of put themselves out there early on. So we'll know by halfway whether they've gone out hard and are really attacking it or whether they're running tactical.
Mm-hmm. And kind of on that same vein, I mean, you know probably better than anybody, being a 7-time champion of the River Bank Run. I mean, what can a win do for somebody at this race?
So many of the athletes that have come through here, and I've talked to others about this. We tend to be a race that identifies new talent. It's the young athletes that are coming up that are taking a shot at a U.S. championship. I look at some of the people that came through here, and I'm sort of blanking, but Dakota, who came through, and a few others. They go on to making U.S. Olympic teams, and this is like a stepping stone for them. Um, that's important to me personally, to see that kind of U.S. development come through here. But then every now and then we get lucky with a guy like Charlie Hicks or Hillary Bohr, who are coming in, who are really at the top of their game but haven't run marathons yet. And I think they like to use this as a judge, sort of judging their interest and talent level of moving up to the marathon. So, it's just a special kind of race. It's a unique distance that the elite athletes can't take lightly, because it'll beat you up for a couple of weeks afterwards. It's
Right.
not an easy distance for them.
Mhm. Well, we're definitely going to be keeping an eye out on Saturday here on News 8. Again, if you can't make it out to the race in person, we are going to be broadcasting it live here on Wood TV Plus, woodtv.com, and also on News 8. And, of course, Greg will be commentating throughout the entire race. Greg, we do appreciate the time today, and we are looking forward to seeing you again on Saturday.
It can be a great weekend.
Absolutely.